My wife bought me a gift recently, and when I say gift, I mean she bought it for me because she's very patiently married to a man who will not throw away a toothpaste tube with anything left in it. This is a toothpaste squeezer. You roll the tube up from the bottom, clamp it in, and extract every last drop. And I want to talk about why I need this and what it has to do with why people make the financial decisions they do. My name is Michael Rodriguez. I'm a certified financial planner, and I'm the founder of Equanimity Wealth, an advice-only financial planning firm based out of Glendale, California. I work with first-gen wealth builders and young families, people who are building something real, often without a family blueprint to follow. No inheritance, no example to copy, just trying to figure it out and do right by the people they love. I make these videos because I believe everyone deserves clear, honest financial education, not just people who already have money. And today, this toothpaste contraption is our teacher. Growing up, money was real. It wasn't abstract. When things were tight, you could feel it. When there was extra, you didn't take it for granted. I didn't grow up learning about index funds or Roth IRAs at the dinner table. What I learned was don't waste, hold on, and be careful. Make things last, don't throw something out if there's still something there. And the lesson, it was a survival skill. It served my family, and I'm grateful for it. But here's the thing about survival skills. Sometimes they travel with you into places they don't belong. My wife grew up different. Her instinct is to let things go once they've served their purpose. The toothpaste tube is hard to squeeze, just toss it. The item in the back of the closet hasn't been used in 2 years, donate it. She moves on without a lot of friction. And I have spent years watching her do this and thinking, how? Because for me, throwing something away that still has value, even a tiny, barely accessible amount of value, feels like a small loss. Every time. It's not a character flaw, it's literally wired into how my brain works. And it's probably wired into some of yours too. There's a field called behavioral finance. It sits at the intersection of psychology and economics. And it's basically the study of why human beings make irrational money decisions even when they know better. One of its most important discoveries is called loss aversion. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, who won the Nobel Prize for this work, found that losses feel approximately twice as painful as equivalent gains feel good. The pain of losing $100 is psychologically more powerful than the pleasure of gaining $100. This is why I can't throw away the toothpaste tube. My brain is registering the remaining paste as something I have, and even discarding it as a loss. Even though the rational calculation is simple, the effort and mental energy I spend squeezing out 2 more uses costs more than just buying a new tube. But here's the thing, I'm not doing a rational calculation. I'm feeling a feeling, and the feeling wins. Now let's talk about how this shows up in real finance, because this isn't just about toothpaste. Loss aversion in investing. You buy a stock, it drops 40%, you don't sell. Not because you've done new research and believe in the company, but because selling makes the loss real. As long as you hold it, it's still theoretically recoverable. Selling is an admission, and this is called the disposition effect, the documented tendency of investors to sell winners too early and hold losers too long. It's the opposite of what rational investment strategy would suggest, and it's driven almost entirely by loss aversion, the sunk cost fallacy. You've been paying for a whole life insurance policy for 8 years, the premiums are high. The fee-only planner looks at it and says, this policy doesn't fit your situation anymore. Term would serve you better at a fraction of the cost. But you think, I've already paid all that money, I can't just walk away. That's the sunk cost fallacy. The money you've already paid is gone regardless of what you do next. The only rational question is, what's the best decision from this point forward? But loss aversion makes you feel like canceling means losing all those years of premiums, even though they're already spent. The endowment effect. The studies show that people value things more once they own them than they valued them before. If you give someone a coffee mug and ask them to sell it, they'll demand more money than someone else would be willing to pay for the same mug. Just owning it inflates its value. This shows up in financial planning constantly. People overvalue their employer's stock because they own it. They overvalue their home because it's their home. They overvalue a business they built because they built it. None of these are rational valuations, they're emotional ones. Career and life decisions. I saved this one for last because it's the one that costs people the most. How many people do you know have stayed in a job, a relationship, a city, a business, or a life path longer than made sense? Not because it was still good, but because you'd already invested so much that leaving felt like losing. That's sunk cost. That's loss aversion. It is very hard to override because it doesn't feel like irrationality. It feels like loyalty. It feels like not being a quitter. It feels like honoring what you've already built. My wife doesn't have this problem with toothpaste. She makes choices based on what she needs now, not what she already spent. I want to be careful here because I'm not saying my wife's approach is better and mine is worse. I'm not saying loss aversion is simply a bug. The instinct to protect what you have, to not throw things away carelessly, to hold on, that instinct has value. It's why some people don't blow through their savings. It's why some people don't make impulsive investment decisions. It's why I have never once in my entire life run out of toothpaste. And my wife's approach has cost too. If you let go too easily, you can become someone who ditches things before they've had a chance to work, who doesn't stick with a plan long enough to see it pay off, who mistakes discomfort for a sign to move on. The goal isn't to eliminate one tendency and replace it with the other. The goal is to know which one is running the show in any given decision and ask whether it's serving you or costing you. Here's a framework I use with clients. When you're tempted to hold on in an investment, a product, a plan, a situation, ask yourself, if I didn't already own this, would I choose it today? That's it. That's the question that cuts through the sunk cost and loss aversion. Not what did I pay for this? Not how long have I had this? Not what will it feel like to let go? Just knowing what I know now, would I choose this? If yes, hold on. If no, it might be time to let go. I grew up in a home where holding on was a survival strategy, where waste wasn't inefficiency, it was stress. I don't think there's anything wrong for having me internalize that. But I became a financial planner because I've seen how much those old strategies, the ones that protected us when we needed protecting, can quietly work against us when the circumstances change. The families I work with are first-gen builders, people who grew up like I did without a financial blueprint. And so many of them carry the same instincts. Hold on, don't waste, don't let go of what you worked for. Those instincts got you here. The work of financial planning is figuring out which ones to keep and which one to thank for their services and let go. I don't know if I'll ever stop using the toothpaste squeezer, but at least I know why I needed it. If this resonated, subscribe. I make videos like this every week, real financial education for first-gen families and young couples who want to understand how money actually works, not just what to do with it. If you want to work through your own financial picture, figure out what's serving you and what's costing you, I offer a free intro call. Link is in the description.